The German vermin became renowned for its lightning warfare tactics led by its esteemed Panzer Corps, yet it was just a fraction of the overall German army. The backbone of Hitler's forces was the infantry squad, which played a vital role in the success on the battlefield. Today, we'll delve into the development and performance of these ordinary foot soldiers. Time management is crucial for commanders on the field as it can determine the outcome of battles. Thanks to our sponsor, Holskin, keeping track of time is effortless with their handcrafted timepieces and jewelry made from natural materials. Their unique designs cater to both men and women, making them perfect gifts for any style or occasion. Use the discount code ARMCHAIR15 for 15% off and a free polishing cloth. After World War I, the German army returned defeated and demoralized. The successes of the stormtrooper units during the war's final year inspired a desire to create a more formidable army. The goal was to design modern infantry squads that were self-sufficient, agile, and capable of delivering overwhelming firepower. The Prussian military tradition, emphasizing duty and honor, persisted in German culture, but Nazi organizations like the Hitler Youth and Reich Labor Service aimed to fully militarize society from a young age. Men entering service were trained with an offensive mindset, favoring aggressive movement and attacks, even during defense. The idea was to retain the initiative on the battlefield, choosing when and where to engage the enemy. Squad leaders were expected to be decisive and tough individuals who could act under intense fire. They had to identify and seize opportunities on the battlefield quickly. The German tactical manual emphasized exemplary leadership, with the superior willing to sacrifice themselves for their men. The combination of superior leadership and training compensated for potential deficiencies in manpower, enabling the Germans to achieve remarkable success even against numerically superior opponents. The development and conduct of the infantry squads were critical in shaping the German army's performance throughout World War II. At the commencement of World War II, German squads consisted of 10 men, comprising a squad leader armed with a submachine gun, 6 riflemen equipped with the Carabiner 98K, an ammo carrier, and a 2-man machine gun team wielding the formidable MG-34, later replaced by the even deadlier MG-42. Unlike Allied infantry squads, which emphasized the role of the rifleman, German squads revolved entirely around their machine guns. These powerful machine gun teams were no longer separate entities within an infantry unit but fully integrated into the squad hierarchy. The German machine guns, MG-34 and MG-42, boasted astonishingly high rates of fire, surpassing their Allied counterparts, and were considered exemplary tools for decimating enemy forces and instilling the offensive spirit desired by German commanders. When given orders to attack, a platoon would split into 4 squads, with the machine gun team leading the advance, while additional machine guns in the rear provided supporting fire. Achieving fire superiority was paramount. Thus, if the advancing squads encountered resistance, the lead machine gun team would deploy to augment the covering fire from the rear. Meanwhile, the riflemen continued to push forward quickly and relentlessly, aiming to maintain momentum. Employing fire and maneuver tactics, multiple squads would cover each other, allowing large formations to leapfrog across enemy-held territory. As the squads approached around 100 meters from the enemy positions, the squad leader identified the point of penetration in the enemy line and ordered his men to focus their fire. Whenever possible, several squads would attack simultaneously from various directions to overwhelm the enemy further and disperse their defensive fire. Once suppressed, the squad leader and riflemen would assault the penetration point with grenades and bayonets to overcome any remaining enemy strongholds. Similarly, when on the defensive, the squad would form around their machine gun team, optimally positioned to fire upon an advancing enemy. The high rates of fire from the MG-34 and MG-42 proved instrumental in suppressing and thwarting enemy assaults. Should any foes manage to survive the onslaught, the vermin's training called for a head-on counterattack to rout the remaining opponents. These tactics demonstrated remarkable success in the war's early years, aided by the presence of veteran non-commissioned officers, NCOs, and officers from previous campaigns. However, as the war dragged on, casualties escalated, and the vermin had to disband entire units, often left with squads of only 5 or 6 men. By 1944, the German army could only maintain a few full-strength veteran units, while most infantry squads in the West were composed of inexperienced and undertrained soldiers, as well as foreign fighters with limited German language skills. Despite these challenges, German infantry squads remained combat effective until the war's conclusion. The introduction of the revolutionary STG-44, the world's first assault rifle, somewhat compensated for the loss in manpower, while the mass-produced and user-friendly Panzerfaust greatly augmented German anti-tank capabilities. Nevertheless, these developments were insufficient to reverse the war's tide, and the vermin's offensive spirit gave way to a desperate defense as the Allies closed in on the German homeland. When World War II commenced, the vermin had successfully rebuilt the German army to its former glory, with infantry squads modeled after proven strategies from the previous war and armed with powerful machine guns. In the initial years of the conflict, German military prowess surpassed that of its enemies on various fronts. However, as time elapsed and casualties mounted, the vermin had to adapt, downgrading units and resorting to desperate measures to maintain combat effectiveness. Meanwhile, the numerically superior Allies continued to replenish their ranks and equip their troops with the latest weapons and equipment.